The starting point for the platform development was really the research we did some 7-8 months ago, where we went out and talked to about 600 business members around the world. We talked to nearly 100 World Trade Centers. And the question was, what are you looking for in this platform? We're going to build you a new website. What do you want us to build? What are the features? And we got kind of four different categories of answers. One is, we want to be able to connect as a network. So connections, collaboration is very important. And their feeling was that the old platform didn't really do that. It was awkward to navigate, it was awkward to interact between yourselves and with us. So the connectivity was a key feature. Second feature was, we want to showcase our facilities, our services, our brand. So we wanted to have something that you could be proud to show your own World Trade Center and the association in a powerful way from a marketing branding point of view. The third area was around monetization, or making the platform into a revenue generator to help you generate revenues. Very important. And the fourth area is more internal, but it has to do with we as an association, that we embrace the new technology to become more efficient in the way we operate. So for instance, the application process. Why are we doing that with faxes and scanned emails back and forth? It goes back and forth. It takes us almost 2 man-years to handle our applications. So clearly we want to do that online. Easier for you, easier for us. Certification. We have a certification process which is great, but we cannot reach enough of you. So the number of certifications each year becomes so small that we wanted to look for ways to reach the network and have a across-the-border certification, and so forth. So there were a number of things, and there was also around sort of migration of databases to the platform, the integration, and so forth. So these were the areas, and clearly we couldn't start off doing everything at once, so we had to prioritize. If you think about it as the 4 dimensions, can you see this? Yes. All right, so if we have, let's call it branding, and then we have the connectivity, and then we have, let's call it operations, which is around efficiency. And then we have, very importantly, the monetization. So what you're going to see this afternoon, and by the way, we're going to launch the platform tomorrow, is that I think we've done a lot on the branding, and I think we've done a lot on the connectivity. So this requirement has been partially fulfilled with this platform. If you think about the roadmap, we want to start getting busy on the efficiencies, and we want to start getting busy on the monetization. That's the next priority. So during next year, you will see something like that. And then finally, a year later, a complete platform. So this is really a 2-year process to get there. So I want to manage your expectations. So this platform is not going to sort of give you all this revenue enhancement opportunities that you're looking for, but that's in the pipeline. And already next year, we're planning to launch an application which has revenue generation. Also, we think this platform is going to start generating massive amounts of traffic, which we will feed to you. So one effect that hopefully we will see already end of this year, early next year, is increased traffic to your sites. We want to divert traffic to you to give you more opportunities. So it's connectivity, it's more traffic, and it's branding. That's what you will have in the phase 1. That's really the kind of the high-level plan, and we'll go into more detail on this during the workshops today, and you'll be able to play around with it. And as far you may know that we have now uploaded 30 profiles out of 300 onto the platform. So you'll get the look and feel of it during today, and again, think from a branding and connectivity point of view, and ask yourself, is this going to be helpful or not? And I hope you have the same answers as we have. So in my view, I don't think the association has ever had a proper branding strategy. So we tried to do it right. We started with the research, and we started with the diagnostic. And we spent a lot of time looking at how the brand is being used and misused around the world. And as we all know, there's massive amounts of misuse of the brand in terms of different designs, colors, but more importantly, also in terms of the positioning. So we have all kinds of varieties of how we kind of tell the market this is our brand, and it's all over the place, or has been all over the place. And if we're going to start to build a powerful global brand, we have to start pulling this together, and so that there's a consistency of messaging. So we spent a lot of time around defining the positioning and really trying to get to the heart of the matter. What does this brand mean to people? It doesn't matter. Why is it important? What is the soul of our brand? So we spent a lot of time on that, and that has been translated into the execution of the brand strategy in terms of the messaging, the voices we use. So the positioning and messaging is very important. Then the conformity is very important, obviously. And then there's just the enforcement around the world. And I think with the platform, all these first 30 profiles are brand consistent, and we're going to be very restrictive on our site to be very consistent. So what you do in the physical world, we cannot tell you what to do, but we can have some policing on this platform and try to keep it clean, keep the integrity of the platform, because the old platform did not have integrity. In terms of messaging, it was not credible. It did not build our credibility. So we want to do this right. So that's really, so it's around conformity, brand architecture, and messaging. And we'll tell you the details of the research during today, so we'll talk about that more. First observation, I think there's been far too little innovation in the service arena. I don't know, we have 8 service categories. To me, they are a little bit sort of dated. I think we really need to start rethinking the services and think about the opportunities in today's world, the digital platform and the digital services that we can be offering. So I think we have to be looking for a whole new set of services which will provide you with real revenue opportunities. I also think we need to go up the value chain in terms of a lot of our old services are really low value added. You know, we can arrange a conference, we can go here. The margins are difficult. It's not easy it's not really a license to print money. So we have to try to go up the value chain and try to use our uniqueness. And we are unique. We have a global network. We have 15,000 professional employees around the world providing trade services. We have a great brand which we're going to make more powerful. So if we start connecting that together and start thinking, and again, as I mentioned yesterday, the innovation cannot come from New York. The innovation is coming from the world, feeding into the system, and then going out again into it. It's the network economy. This is what we have to embrace. This is how we move forward. So I see our strategy, someone mentioned yesterday that physical is very important, and I fully agree. So the facilities are important, the local presence, you know, the physical side cannot be neglected, but the digital has to work hand in hand. That's when we become real powerful. So that's why we're building out our regional organizations. We're opening up an office in China. We're opening up a stronger office in South America. We're going to open up something in Europe. That's the physical world. Then we have the digital. And getting these to work together, I think we can build something very powerful here. On the network, we see two things going on at the same time. On one hand, we have strong growth, high demand for the license. We see that in Asia, we see that in Latin America. And so one part of the dynamics of developing the network is really to support that development. And as I mentioned yesterday, I think China to me is a little bit like a laboratory, if you think about it. A lot of developers, we have the real estate expertise. They don't have the teams to offer trade services. They don't have the expertise. So that's why we've been trying to spend a lot of time to give the support. That's why we opened the office in Beijing, to help these new members move from a pure real estate facility-based strategy to facilities coupled with services. And we have to do it very efficiently, because they're not going to hire 10 people to do this. They want a small staff. They want to have it digital so they can access it and leverage it. So, and I think the learning from that experience we can use in, call it the old world. Because the other reality, what we see in North America and Europe, is stagnation. You know, there's very little growth. Margins are under pressure. There's real pressures here. So clearly, the fact that there's no growth is symptomatic that there are problems here. And we need to get at that. And again, that's where I think the platform and the regional organization will be a real support. So that's what gets me up in the morning to think about how we can translate that into real support for you, to make you connect, to make you make more money, and to give you a brand that can further your marketing, help you in your marketing. So that's basically, so the network, there's two realities, and we have to learn from one and eventually merge them together into a global network, which will be very powerful. So we have a board with a chairman who is very concerned, or not concerned, but he's very interested in governance. He really wants to be, for this association, to have world-class governance. And so our Audit and Risk Committee has been tasked with how do we increase the governance so you, the members, can feel very secure that we are doing the right things in New York. So we are introducing internal audit next year. We never had that before. So there will be independent auditors looking at me and reporting to the board and looking at my people. So internal audit will be introduced next year. We are also putting together a comprehensive risk assessment structure so that we can monitor our risks. And this is also in motion. We're kind of 80% down the road in terms of developing a risk assessment structure and a risk register, which we monitor, and the internal auditors will also use that as a framework. Now, the third element I think is very important is more democratization. That means that you have more direct input into the board and the running of the association. And here I also see that the platform can play a major role. Because we will have a voting, polling feature on the platform, so we can go out to you and ask you, where should we have the next General Assembly? Who are the candidates for the board members? What's important?